Did he do it or did he not? The downfall of P. Diddy has become one of the most celebrated and binge-worthy content on the internet. Finding new information out of the freak-offs and more victims coming out the woodworks about their stories, and the empire that Diddy once built over 30 years ago will quickly start to crumble. The lawsuit of Cassie Ventura, his then girlfriend of over 10 years, will kickstart the downfall of Diddy's freedom. With Cassie suing Diddy for sexual assault, physical abuse, and forcing her to engage in sexual acts with male sex workers, the mind of Diddy simply just had no limit. The mastermind hip-hop fans would agree that everything that Diddy has coming towards him was warranted due to him not paying his Illuminati bill and his dark and dirty, shady past. The video of Diddy hitting Cassie was so egregious that he couldn't escape the slander, and he had no choice but to apologize, hence the reason he settled the lawsuit so quickly. Now, although Cassie Ventura's lawsuit will be the anchor of this whole investigation and the freak-offs and pretty much everyone suing Diddy, there will be one business lawsuit in particular that exposed Diddy's vulnerability to the corporate world. And that lawsuit would involve the liquor company De Leon and Diageo. Sean P. Diddy Combs has had a plethora of success in the music business, from clothing, music, and alcohol, with alcohol being the most successful and lucrative business venture, largely contributing to his billionaire status. In 2007, Diddy signed a deal with Ciroc, which would integrate Ciroc in the black hip-hop culture space. Now, given the fact that Diddy was a superstar mogul known for giving us Biggie, Mace, The Lox, 112, a lot of people inside the culture began mass consuming this Ciroc, and during their 15-year partnership, they made a lot of money. It's being reported that Diddy made over $60 million annually off the strength of his influence, putting the liquor in the music videos, the interviews, and on Revolt TV, which was a media platform that Diddy owned. Now, it became synonymous with hip-hop when it came to partying, and Diddy made the brand very popular, as it's believed that he was even receiving 50-50 splits, hence why he was allegedly making $60 million a year. The smooth and successful run would come to a halt when Diddy sued Diageo, a liquor company under Ciroc, that he had been promoting because the brand was sabotaging the representation of De Leon, calling it a black brand or ethnic brand, which closes out a large demographic of liquor drinkers and consumers who don't like minority brands due to this perception of it being cheap and not high quality. When it comes to alcohol selection, you want the most smooth and crisp liquor that's going straight to your bloodstream. And Diddy felt they were playing in his face, devaluing the partnership of his liquor when he's been a worldwide mogul for the past 30 years, and he's been known. Dr. Umar would have a very interesting take on the situation and express how corrupt companies are using the Cassie situation as a crutch to attack Diddy.
And Diddy had an agreement with them where they would help him market his De Leon tequila brand. And Diddy took issue with Diageo because they had described the De Leon tequila liquor, Puffy's brand, they described it to their customer base as if it was an inner city, urban, quote unquote, ghetto hip hop type of liquor. And Puffy took issue with that because he said, I'm a global icon. I'm a hip hop mogul. Don't limit my product just to black people. And by doing that, you're dissuading white people and non-blacks from buying my liquor. You're cutting my sales low. And I think you're doing it on purpose because you don't want De Leon tequila to outsell all your other European controlled brands. So Puffy accused Diageo of racial discrimination in advertising and marketing.
The nuance behind this clip is that Ciroc is a French liquor company, and Ciroc is a parent company of Diageo, which is somewhat affiliated with De Leon. These companies don't want Diddy's line that has a major stake to outsell Ciroc and these other European companies, so they devalued his brand, which is also their brand, by the marketing and brand towards, let's just be honest, poorer demographics, which is ethnic groups. Diddy sued them in May of 2023, and for the last year and a bit, they've had a hard time selling the products. This could have all simply been avoided as if they marketed the product towards the general market instead of one specific demographic, which was done intentionally.
Diageo got upset with Puff, British-based company. They said, you done already made $1 billion off of us. How dare you sue us and try to make a few more billion off of us? Diageo and Puff settled out of court in January 2024. Puffy's homes are raided in March. There's no way you're going to convince me that a company that powerful, Diageo operates in 180 of 194 countries in the world. They operate in 180 out of 194 countries in the world. You are not going to convince me that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. There is no way they were forced to settle with Puffy in January, and less than 2 months later, his homes are raided.
Umar would explain the timeline and antics involved in the Diddy saga. Now, I already have my own feelings towards the Diddy situation, and it's not that he's innocent because I feel like he's guilty of all the stuff that he's being put towards him. But my feelings on Diddy going to prison for life is almost like killing two birds with one stone, and this is why. Now, because for a lot of people, none of the people got closure for the Jeffrey Epstein situation, and people are viewing Diddy in the light as of a Epstein 2.0, or should I say, the black Jeffrey Epstein. Because nobody got to see Epstein persecuted in the way that he should have been. You know, he had very powerful celebrities on his island, such as Donald Trump, Michael Jackson, Prince Charles, Prince Andrews, Bill Clinton, etc., etc. And we know that Epstein was obviously killed in prison because if he cooperated, which he planned on doing, most of the people that we look up to who are politicians would have been exposed and they would have no place or position of power in the world. Umar would outline how Puffy fell into Cassie for the $30 million lawsuit within 24 hours, exposed that he had real skeletons in his closet that he didn't want us to know, and that the Illuminati is something that he simply can't beat and will never beat due to the corruption and wickedness of Hollywood.
Watch this timeline. He sues Diego in the spring. Cassie comes out in the fall. He settles with Cassie in 24 hours. Diego is watching this. So when Diego decides to settle with Puff outside of court, they did this knowing full well we're about to go after you and destroy you. You are messing with the Illuminati. You have no idea who you effing with, Sean Combs. And when Puff was so quick to settle with Cassie, that showed the whole world he was vulnerable. That showed the whole world he had skeletons in his closet. And do you know what I think Diego did after they settled with Puff? I bet you after they settled with Puff, they probably never even made it to the airplane. They picked up the phone and they called King Charles III. And they said, "Dear monarch, we need you to dial in a favor for us to President Joe Biden. Because this Sean Puffy Combs, this little nigga out of New York City, he think he can go to war with the big boys and not pay the consequences. Sean Puffy Combs, that hip hop king out of New York, he think he can tell white people what to do. He think he going to rob us for a couple $2 billion and get away with it. It's not going down. Dear King, please make that call on behalf of your citizens." That's what I believe happened.
The question that I ask myself is, do I think that the Illuminati and wickedness is real? Yes. Now, do I think that Diddy is a good and innocent person who was being wrongfully convicted? Hell no. He did that shit. But a lot of these corporations that have always had ill feelings towards Diddy are using these prompts of him being a R-word, a sexual abuser, an exploitist, as a coping mechanism and almost masquerading as the reason why they don't want to work with him. But they have their own business grievances behind the scenes, and that's why they don't want to do business with him, and they're capitalizing on the moment.